The morning begins with a silence that feels heavy and purposeful, a blanket of stillness that rests upon the small corridor of the side yard. Here, the world is reduced to the proximity of the earth and the gentle weight of the air as it settles into the shadows. There is no rush to meet the day, only the slow emergence of shapes as the light begins to find its way between the narrow gaps of the architecture. The space feels held, protected by the proximity of the walls, creating a sanctuary where time does not seem to move in a linear fashion. Instead, it pools like water in the low places, steady and undisturbed. The light is not a sudden intrusion but a soft suggestion, a gradual warming of the atmosphere that coaxes the environment into a state of quiet awareness. Every inch of the ground seems to breathe in the coolness of the early hour, exhaling a sense of profound peace that resonates through the narrow passage. It is a moment of pure existence, where the simple reality of being in a domestic space becomes a meditative experience, undisturbed by the world beyond the gate. There is a deep, resonant quality to the quiet, a texture that can almost be felt against the skin, grounding the observer in the immediate present. The air is still, yet it carries the subtle vibration of life unfolding at its own deliberate pace, far removed from the noise of the external world. In the heart of the home, the courtyard serves as a reservoir of light and shadow, a private chamber where the sky is framed by the surrounding roof lines. The afternoon sun descends with a gentle persistence, casting long, shifting patterns across the floor of this outdoor room. It is a space that feels entirely separate from the concept of a street or a neighborhood, a hidden pocket of calm that exists solely for the appreciation of the passing hours. The walls provide a boundary that does not confine, but rather clarifies the sense of place, allowing the mind to settle on the subtleties of the immediate environment. There is a rhythmic quality to the way the light moves, a slow dance of brightness and depth that transforms the space minute by minute. The atmosphere is one of domestic intimacy, where the transition from the interior to the exterior is seamless and natural. Within these four walls, the air remains cooler, holding onto the memory of the morning even as the sun reaches its zenith. The stillness here is architectural, built into the very structure of the home, providing a constant point of return for the senses. It is a place where the movement of a shadow across a flat surface becomes a significant event, a quiet testament to the steady, unhurried progression of the day. The world outside may be filled with motion, but here, everything has found its place and is content to remain there. As the day begins to lean toward its conclusion, the light takes on a golden, honeyed quality that softens every edge and warms the very air. From the vantage point of the porch, the small garden feels like a world unto itself, a compact universe governed by the laws of tranquility. The boundary between the built environment and the living space is blurred by the gentle glow, creating a sense of unity and belonging. There is a profound stillness in the way the light rests upon the surfaces, as if the day is catching its breath before the evening sets in. The shadows are long and soft, stretching across the space with a grace that feels intentional and calm. This is the hour when the domestic landscape feels most like a sanctuary, a place where the pressures of the day dissolve into the warmth of the fading sun. The air is thick with the scent of earth and the quiet hum of the atmosphere, a sensory experience that requires no words or actions. It is enough to simply observe the way the light interacts with the space, the way it finds the small details and elevates them into something extraordinary. The intimacy of the scale makes the experience feel personal and direct, a private conversation between the home and the natural world. In this small corner of the world, peace is not an abstract concept but a tangible presence, felt in the warmth of the wood and the stillness of the air. The light of an overcast sky brings a different kind of clarity to the small garden, one that is even and restorative. Without the harsh contrast of direct sun, the colors and textures of the domestic landscape reveal themselves in their truest form. Looking down from above, the arrangement of the space feels deliberate yet effortless, a composition of elements that have settled into a state of mutual harmony. The proximity to the window suggests a constant connection between the life inside and the life just beyond the glass, a relationship built on observation and quiet appreciation. There is a weightiness to the air under the clouds, a sense of containment that reinforces the feeling of being in a safe, enclosed harbor. The stillness is absolute, undisturbed by wind or movement, allowing the eye to wander slowly over the various depths and layers of the scene. The domestic scale ensures that nothing feels overwhelming. Instead, everything is within reach, manageable and familiar. This is a space where the simple act of looking becomes a form of rest, a way to recalibrate the spirit against the backdrop of a quiet, unpretentious beauty. The lack of shadows creates a sense of timelessness, as if the afternoon could stretch on indefinitely in this muted, peaceful state. It is a reminder of the value of the small, the local, and the quiet corners of our lives that provide the most consistent comfort. As the blue hour descends, the garden takes on a luminous, ethereal quality, the light fading into a deep, resonant cool that signals the coming of night. The path, narrow and winding, leads the eye through the small space with a sense of gentle discovery. The fence serves as a protective barrier, a wooden shell that keeps the outside world at a distance and preserves the integrity of the home's private atmosphere. There is a soft, rhythmic quality to the texture of the ground, a surface that suggests a slow, deliberate pace. The air is cooling rapidly, and with the temperature change comes a deepening of the silence, a quiet that feels more profound than that of the day. The shapes of the garden begin to merge into the shadows, their outlines softening until they are mere suggestions of form. This transition is a peaceful one, a natural folding of the day into the night that feels right and necessary. The intimacy of the space is heightened by the dimming light, making the small garden feel like a secret shared only with the home itself. There is no urgency here, only the steady, inevitable progression of time as it moves toward darkness. The blue light seems to emanate from the ground itself, a cool fire that illuminates the space without disturbing its rest. It is a moment of pure atmosphere, a distillation of the domestic experience into its most essential and tranquil elements. The entrance to the backyard is marked by a simple gate, a threshold that separates the public world from the private sanctuary of the home. In the hazy light of a new morning, the wood shows its age with a grace that speaks of many seasons and many quiet moments. The light filters through the mist, creating a soft, diffused glow that removes all harshness from the scene. There is a sense of invitation in the stillness, a silent promise of the peace that lies just beyond the latch. The gate is not just a physical barrier but a psychological one, a point where the noise of the world is left behind in favor of the rhythmic calm of the domestic garden. The texture of the surface is revealed in the low-lying light, a map of time and weather that adds character to the quietude. Beyond the gate, the garden remains a mystery, a space of potential and rest that is yet to be fully revealed by the rising sun. The atmosphere is one of anticipation, but an anticipation that is free of anxiety, rooted instead in the comfort of the familiar. The air is damp and cool, carrying the freshness of the morning into the heart of the home's exterior spaces. It is a small detail, a simple structure, yet it embodies the spirit of the entire landscape, a spirit of protection, history, and enduring calm. Tucked into a quiet corner, the stone bench sits as a silent witness to the changing light and the passage of the hours. It is an anchor within the small garden, a point of absolute stillness in a landscape that is constantly, if subtly, in motion. The sunlight filters through the canopy above, creating a moving tapestry of brightness on the cool surface of the stone. This play of light and shadow is the only activity in the space, a slow and mesmerizing performance that requires nothing from the observer but presence. The scale of the corner is intimate and enclosing, providing a sense of being sheltered and held by the environment. The surrounding greenery creates a soft wall of texture, muffling the sounds of the neighborhood and reinforcing the feeling of seclusion. There is a weight to the stone that feels permanent and grounding, a stark contrast to the fleeting nature of the sunbeams that touch its surface. The atmosphere is one of deep reflection, a space designed for the absence of thought and the pure experience of being. The air is still, and the only movement is the gradual shift of the sun as it finds new paths through the leaves. In this small, domestic nook, the world feels complete and sufficient, a perfect microcosm of peace that exists just steps away from the daily life of the home. Side yard, often overlooked, is a place of singular quiet, a narrow strip of land that serves as a buffer between the home and the rest of the world. Under the bright midday sun, the space is filled with a clear, direct light that illuminates every detail of the ground and the fence. The mossy earth holds on to its moisture, a cool and soft floor that contrasts with the warmth of the sun-drenched wood. There is a simplicity here that is profoundly calming, a lack of complexity that allows the mind to rest. The narrowness of the space creates a sense of verticality, drawing the eye upward toward the blue expanse of the sky framed by the roofline and the fence. The stillness is punctuated only by the quality of the light, which feels solid and pervasive. It is a space that does not demand attention, yet it provides a consistent and reliable sense of peace. The domestic nature of the landscape is evident in the proximity of the home's walls, which provide a sense of security and belonging. This is not a grand vista, but a small, honest piece of the world that has been tended and cared for. The air is warm and still, carrying the quiet hum of a summer afternoon in a suburban landscape. In this unpretentious corner, the beauty of the everyday is allowed to shine, providing a restorative environment for the senses. The water in the small basin acts as a mirror, capturing the fading colors of the sky and bringing them down to the level of the earth. As the sun dips below the horizon, the surface of the water becomes a pool of liquid light, shifting from pale gold to soft violet. The stillness of the water reflects the stillness of the garden, a perfect equilibrium between the elements. Positioned low to the ground, the perspective emphasizes the intimacy of the domestic space, making the small vessel feel like a significant monument within the landscape. The air is beginning to hold the coolness of the evening, and the light is soft, losing its strength but gaining a deep, emotional resonance. There is a sense of completion in the scene, a feeling that the day has reached its natural conclusion and is settling into a well-earned rest. The garden around the basin is dark and quiet, allowing the reflected light to become the focal point of the environment. It is a moment of quiet wonder, a simple phenomenon that serves as a reminder of the beauty that can be found in the smallest corners of a home. The atmosphere is thick with peace, a heavy and comforting silence that wraps around the garden like a cloak. In this reflection, the entire world seems to be at peace, held within the circular boundary of the water. Under the light of the moon, the garden is transformed into a landscape of silver and shadow, a monochromatic world that feels both familiar and mysterious. The entire space, from the fence to the walls of the home, is bathed in a soft, cool glow that emphasizes the architecture of the plants and the structure of the yard. The stillness of the night is absolute, a deep and profound quiet that seems to emanate from the very earth. The domestic scale of the garden is clear even in the dark, the boundaries providing a sense of safety and enclosure. There is a rhythmic quality to the way the moon highlights the different levels of the landscape, creating a sense of depth and space that is different from the light of the day. The air is crisp and still, carrying no sound from the world beyond the property line. This is the garden at its most private, a hidden sanctuary that exists in the hours of rest. The home stands as a silent guardian at the edge of the space, its presence a constant reminder of the connection between the interior life and the exterior world. As the night progresses, the garden remains a place of steady, unmoving peace, a reservoir of calm that waits for the return of the sun. It is a final, quiet breath at the end of the day, a moment of pure atmosphere and domestic tranquility.